The organisers of the World Cup are debating whether the event in Qatar in 2022 should be moved for the first time ever from the summer to the winter months. On French radio today, a member of football's governing body FIFA said the tournament will not start in June simply because it's too hot in Qatar at that time of year. But FIFA quickly played down the comments, saying no decision would be made until after this year's World Cup in Brazil. Well, for more, I'm joined now in New York by Grant Wahl of Sports Illustrated. Grant, thanks very much for joining me. I mean, how realistic is it even to contemplate having the World Cup in Qatar in June or July?
Well, that's actually the decision that FIFA originally made in 2010 when the executive committee voted to award the World Cup to Qatar that would take place in the typical June and July of 2022. Qatar promised to have space-age technology that would cool inside the stadiums and open-air stadiums and have outdoor cooling systems throughout the country. And FIFA voted to go ahead and have it there. Qatar says they can produce this technology that we haven't seen actually produced yet. But now there's been an about face, and FIFA wants to change it to probably November or December of that year.
Okay, Sepp Blatters, who's of course the head of FIFA, seems to have said in one breath, absolutely, we'll have it in summer, as you suggest, and then in another breath, no, not possible, we're not going to have it in summer. What's changed FIFA's mind?
Well, they saw how hot it is in Qatar at that time of the year. It's just, crazy high temperatures in the 40 Celsius, well above 100, 110 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just really unhealthy for players. And so, right now FIFA is maybe looking back and wondering what kind of a crazy decision they've made. A lot of the guys on the executive committee who voted to put the World Cup in Qatar are no longer on the executive committee. Many have been pushed out for corruption in the last couple of years. So this seems like potentially a sensible way to deal with the weather, though there are plenty of other concerns with Qatar, like the human rights situation with migrant workers there that have been dying quite a bit in the heat. Migrant workers from Nepal.
Grant, is this, or rather perhaps should this be, raising questions about the whole reason that Qatar was granted the World Cup in the first place?
Well, and those questions have existed from the moment that Qatar was chosen to host this World Cup. And, the weather's the weather. We knew it was going to be like when the vote took place. We know what it's going to be like now. I actually visited Qatar a couple of months ago, and I actually did come away thinking that they might be able to pull off the technology to have the cooling systems that they've promised, because some of those first-generation technologies already exist in Qatari stadiums. I came away from my trip to Qatar more worried about the horrible working conditions of migrant workers who are going to be building these stadiums, migrant workers who often can't even get exit visas to leave the country if they want to.
Okay, Grant Wahl, and of course we should mention that the reason that European leagues are nervous about having it in the winter months is because that's when they're playing at home as well.